It's been described as physical chess, a sport which relies on skills, tactics, and strategy.
The fencer need to be independent, need to make decisions alone, and you need to learn how to be patient.
As a preparation for armed combat, fencing is as old as the sword itself. Today, the modern adaptation of this ancient sport is practiced in 145 countries. And in Africa, the popularity of the sport has challenged a new generation of fighters.
Oh! If we were looking, let's say, 20 years ago, it was just 5 countries and a few other countries with the absolute beginners. Now the sport is developing very, very well.
This is the future of fencing. This is Inside Africa. The modern-day fencer is skilled in the use of 3 different weapons: foil, ipe, and saber. These sporting weapons are lightweight, flexible, and without sharp points or edges. But in the right hands, they are dangerously effective.
Fencers ready. Fence.
In a sport traditionally dominated by European countries,
On guard foot.
South African fencers have begun their rise. The keys to their success ahead. Fencing is growing in popularity throughout Africa. With a pool of untapped talent, the International Fencing Association has begun to upgrade training facilities on the continent.
Yes, please correct the final position and initial position of the movement. Left arm relaxed, body higher. This is an international coaching academy of the International Fencing Federation, FIE. And coaching education is a very important part. And the International Fencing Federation decided to open the coaching academies on each continent. And we have coaching academy in Europe, in Hungary, and we have now these 2 academies in Africa. Yeah, Mahmoud, don't take the blade with the arm. That's the first year of a coaching academy here. And there's students from different African countries. We have students from Egypt, from Sierra Leone, definitely from South Africa as well, Uganda, Nigeria. That's different African countries who send here their candidates. Little bigger position, yes.
The Sierra Leone National Fencing Association is actively developing the sport throughout the country. Part of this development plan involves the training of local coaches.
I'm from Sierra Leone, and fencing in Sierra Leone is not that well known because a lot of females are not into fencing. Some are into fencing, but they're not active because we don't have enough equipment and we don't have enough trainers. So that's why I am in South Africa to train as a coach in order to empower women into fencing and to get them to do fencing and show them how lovely fencing is.
A little bit more movements and the distance, to choose the right distance for your pupil to make an attack.
It's a relatively new sport in Uganda as well, but what that country lacks in facilities, it more than makes up with enthusiasm.
Yeah, fencing in Uganda, it started like 5 years back after they sent the 2 students to Senegal. In my country, it was not there, but after like 5 years, I think now it's there and people are now enjoying it because it was now registered with the Olympic Committee in my country.
But it is in Nigeria where the most significant growth is taking place. Earlier this year, for the first time, the Nigerian Fencing Association was awarded the rights to host the 2018 Junior and Cadet African Fencing Championships in Lagos.
A little bit body higher, left arm relaxed.
Gennady Taishla started his fencing career in Russia, where he coached the Soviet national team before moving to South Africa 25 years ago to set up the first fencing school in Johannesburg.
I have been involved in fencing for all my life. This is my profession.
He is also the president of the Coaching Council of the International Fencing Federation and says that a successful fencer needs to know much more than just the physical techniques.
Fencing Academy is tied up together with the college. It's an ETA coach where the students will study for a year and receive the coaching diploma.
On guard. Fencers ready. Fence.
Manyane Sefularo is a national champion in the Team Epe event for 2018 and is currently ranked 9th in South Africa. He is a coaching partner at the academy.
There's been a huge improvement in the last 4 months. People know the technique now, people understand how you should fence. Because, I mean, for other guys who are from Sierra Leone, Uganda, this is the first time getting exposure to a different weapon besides epee, you know, getting involved with such a large number of people doing the sport. So I've seen a big improvement, the excitement as well of the guys, you know, the commitment, that's what is important, has really gotten into track, and I'm happy with what I've seen so far.
The South African Fencing Association was established in 1907, and the first South African competed at the Olympic Games in 1912.
Fencing in South Africa, no, it's not very big sport, but it's quite good sport. We qualified for 2 Olympic Games and competed, and you know that only 8 teams in the world qualifying for Olympic Games now.
In the past years, it's been a big leap, you know. The junior team that just attended the Junior World Champs in Verona managed to beat one of the strongest teams. You know, your Switzerland and your German teams are one of the top teams in fencing, and they managed to beat those 2 teams. So I'd say we're on the right track. We haven't won medals yet, but we're going there. We're going there.
Still to come, some of the most promising talent is emerging from the townships of Soweto and Mamelodi, and the country's leading fencers fight for top honors. Back in Johannesburg, the premier fencing competition on the South African calendar is underway. The Senior National Fencing Championships forms part of the Arnold Classic Sports Festival, a multi-sport event started by former bodybuilder Arnold Schwarzenegger. Up for grabs are national titles in all 3 categories, epee, foil, and saber, as well as an opportunity to qualify for the World Championships in China. As the event continues, eyes turn to this shy young fencer. Although Celine Chiang has not been fencing for very long, she has already drawn the attention of coaches because of her deep understanding of the sport. One by one, Celine defeats her more seasoned competitors. It's an impressive stand that earns her top honors in the senior women's saber category.
It was really stiff. There were a lot of good fencers here today, and everyone was like just putting in their best and trying to keep their emotions under control, I guess.
Once known as the sport of kings, fencing continues to fight for recognition in Africa. With competitions like this, coaches and competitors here feel confident they will one day face off against the best in the world.